What's up, guys? Welcome to GT Content. The spicy news in the JDM car scene right now is the resurrection of the Integra name, which was last seen in 2001 and replaced with RSX in 2002 for its fourth generation here in the USA. It was ultimately discontinued in 2006. There's multiple reasons, like low sales figures and internal competition between the Civic, which was the better seller, and being that they shared platforms where the Civic is able to offer more options and body styles at reasonable prices, it didn't justify keeping the Integra alive. Acura's 2 or 3 letter model naming system also didn't help. The TSX kind of filled that void for a bit, then the ILX from 2013 onwards, and it just couldn't meet expectations, even though it was based on the 9th generation Civic, which sold very well in comparison. The ILX will be replaced by the upcoming next generation Integra, which will share a platform with the Civic 4-door. There are probably many people that love coupe body styles, but they just don't sell well, so it wouldn't make any financial sense to make them unless it was a special or limited version with higher cost to justify it. For example, we've witnessed the discontinuation of the RSX and Civic Coupe to confirm that it's not a profitable venture. The drivetrain will be shared between the Civic. Being that the Integra is a premium version of the Civic, there's a lot of possibilities with the many engine and transmission options. But I don't believe Acura will use the lesser Civic engine offerings, maybe elsewhere in the world, but not in the US. There's really not that much information at this point other than Acura revealing on Twitter that the Integra will offer a 6-speed manual transmission. We see the first generation, second generation, third generation, and fourth generation. Then there is this, which I assume is referencing the 5th generation Integra. I think it's the actual thing because if you notice, someone went way out of their way to blur out the buttons on the left side of the shifter and even the dude's pants. It's like, why? Why would you even do that if it wasn't anything important? Also notice that there's a feature that looks like a grab handle to the right of the shifter and onto the buttons. It's very blurry, but you can see the brake hold button, electric parking brake, auto idle stop off button, a toggle switch, probably for the driving modes, and I'm not too sure what this button is at the top, but if you do, let me know in the comment section below. And then there's the shift knob. It doesn't look like the current Civic Type R shift knob. It actually looks similar to the Civic SI's shift knob, and being that it's supposed to be a 6-speed, what are the 6-speed offerings from the Civic? Using the process of elimination, the Civic Si was offered with a 6-speed manual transmission and helical limited slip differential with the L15B7 engine, making 205 horsepower. It's also offered with a continuously variable transmission. This combination actually sounds reasonable for a standard Integra. The other Civic with a 6-speed manual transmission is the Civic Type R, which uses the K20C1 turbo engine, making 306 horsepower. It's a special engine with no automatic option, so it may end up later in an Integra Type S. I say Type S because it looks like Acura in the USA, for distinction, uses Type S for their top of the line or high-end performance versions, while Honda uses the Type R terminology. If you think about it, it makes sense because it doesn't create any confusion between the Honda and Acura brand, even though we as enthusiasts do realize that Honda is the parent company of Acura. I'm sure there will be Type R versions of the Integra elsewhere in the world, but this is only referring to the US. There is one other 6-speed manual option, and that is from the Honda Accord. It's also offered with a 10-speed automatic, which is much better than the Civic's CVT. The Accord uses the K20C4, making 250 horsepower. I think the K20C4 would be the perfect base for an Integra, but this combination isn't offered for the Civic. Either way, I figured I'd just throw it in here for discussion's sake, because, you never know. So is Acura just trying to make more sales by using a name that people are already familiar with, and will it work? I do recall a manufacturer recently that brought back a supercar called the NSX. It didn't do so well because it wasn't representative of that name anymore, but it was named the NSX anyways and will soon be discontinued after 2022. The Integra may not be an NSX, but it should do better in sales because it should be more attainable. So, will the Integra live up to its past? We'll all have to wait and see. I actually hope it does well because in my case, if I had to choose between a Civic or Integra, I'd most likely lean towards the Integra because I like a more premium driving experience and interior. But you know what? We all win in this case because we get more options. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below so we can continue this conversation. And of course, hit that like and subscribe button to support my channel. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.